Bit Generations is a series of 7 puzzle games, originally released to promote the Game Boy Micro. Although a few of these games would eventually be ported to Wii and DS, the original GBA versions never set sail outside Japan, making them highly sought collector's items. Hello and welcome to Fossil Arcade, where I'll be reviewing all 7 Bit Generations games for Game Boy Advance. So grab the appropriate snacks and enjoy these little known puzzle games from Japan. Dotstream is the first Bit Generations title, and looks like a very straightforward racing game. Taking control of a line just 1 pixel thick, you'll compete against 5 others in a series of Grand Prix. The goal is to find the fastest route through more than 25 courses. So racing, right? But it isn't the kind of gameplay you might expect. There's no manual acceleration, and you'll always start at a much slower pace than the other lines. Whilst finding faster routes through these mazes is key, you'll only be able to significantly increase your speed by staying as close as possible to the opponents. So while a good racing line is important, mimicking others precisely is just as valuable. Collisions will of course slow you down too, but taking 3 hits will cost the entire race. That danger is compounded by the fact that 2 lines cannot occupy the same space simultaneously. Driving into other opponents will push you aside, and colliding with obstacles in tight spaces is all too easy if you're not careful. Though some obstacles are not actually lethal, direction blocks and pink goo will inhibit your movement, while kind of muddy patches will just slow you down. It's the solid objects that are the most lethal. Some are stationary, but others move around in only vaguely predictable ways. Thankfully, you can increase your chances by entering the pit stop. This is located at the base of every course. Using it kills your momentum, but grants up to 8 additional lives. These lives can also be used as boosts. Boosting is a real gamble, as the risk of colliding with something for a sudden death is always nerve-wracking. Saving your boosts for the final straight is often an easy way to win too. Lastly, a few courses also feature helpful items. These are used to remove obstacles or pause your opponent's momentum. I always relish the chance to use these and would have liked to see them implemented more. In its difficulty, the Grands Prix are harsh but fair. All the game's mechanics and potential threats are taught through gameplay, which means you never feel unfairly caught out. It's also worth mentioning that, like the stages, a lot of effort has gone into Dotstream's sound design. Every GP has its own musical style, with sound effects switching to match and complement them. A few tunes are divisive and aren't exactly to my taste, but the changes in score give each area a lot of character. Next to the Grand Prix campaign are 2 other modes. Spot Race is time trial-esque, letting you replay the same stages over and over. If you're able to place first in each, you'll unlock a sick final GP of incredibly tough courses. Formation is an expandable mode designed to keep you playing indefinitely. The survival style gameplay gives you a single line at first. Collecting tiny power-ups keeps it going, and you'll gain more lines to control the longer you survive. Controlling several lines at once is very difficult. The name Formation comes from the abilities which move the lines in unison. There are 6 of these to perform, each one is unlocked by placing first in a Grand Prix.
Bit. Bit Generations.
Clearly, Dotstream is not attempting to emulate a typical racing experience. Instead, the core mechanics of racing have been broken down into a raw form. Staying close to your rivals to gain speed is exciting in itself, whilst the lack of direct control over your acceleration is a great risky and challenging puzzle element. You can find Dotstream for an incredibly decent price. Sadly, despite its competitive nature, it's single player only, though passing the pad is almost as good as a head-to-head mode in a game like this. I'd give it my highest recommendation for anybody interested in racing, puzzles, or having their GBA surgically attached to their hands.